All right, here is Thursday, October 5th. So you already see the day. So I draw my line. This is the 12 o'clock. Gives you a visual reference, the 12:30. This is how you compartmentalize if you end up trading morning session and afternoon session. Completely different things, different strategies, different way of looking at the market and how it wants to move. So let's take a look. So yesterday we had that big run up all the way to almost 1 ATR. So and again, people are like, "Oh my God, we're running, we're moving a lot." Market moves in waves. So what do? We open right at where we closed. I don't know what pre-market looked like because pre-market's not really. I mean, it is good to know somewhat, but what I try to teach and what I want you to understand is how can we make this as simple as possible where you don't have to know a lot of information like order flow or pre-market information or sessions, and it's like, what are the most critical elements that you can sort of recognize and trust it to have a systematic approach to where you can start reading the market in this language and how the story is told. So again, if you've seen any of my other videos, I trade in 5-minute candles with a 30-minute overlay, and I will be discussing in Central Time. So with that said, we opened below the previous day close. So what do? If you're trading that first 15 minutes, you're probably wanting to short it, and you're going to, because I mean, yes, this was extended, but I mean, you have a lot of room down. So what I would end up doing is probably shorting, and if you miss that, you wait until it breaks the bear pivot, and now you want to go short. You're not necessarily trying to catch 100% of the move. You're trying to catch a big portion of the move with one contract. Set out your goal, whether you're trying to hit 20 points, 50 points, 100 points, 300 points. It doesn't matter. Whatever your goal is, if you need to make 500 points or 200 points, then you know you're going to have to be trading a lot longer throughout the day to capture these moves. If you're only looking for 20 points or 50 points, then just wait that first hour or two of the day, and you can definitely get those points. This is the yen cube. They provide many, many opportunities. So here, this would have been your short from here to here the moment it broke. Now you are going to short here, and your target is going to be right here. Now you're playing in between the bear pivot and the mid-range pivot. So now that you're outside the box, your target for the morning is mid-range. What do we end up doing? We dropped all the way down, and you see how it reacted around these fit pivots and came all the way down to mid-range. Now what do we end up doing? We end up dropping at 9:30. So first hour's done, which that's a really quick move in the first hour. What do? We bounce off, and we're still one time framing down, and we ended up, this was just sort of a pullback, and well, I say half back because if you see this candle from here to here, this was half the move. So half back, and now it's going to continue. And if you notice, this is pretty much pretty close to being measured moves on every hour on the hour. See right here and see right here. They're all sort of an 85-point range in these 30-minute candles. So it doesn't happen all the time, but when you see this, you can anticipate how much room you have. And the fact that we broke right here is this was support, and now it's going to try to find support at the next area. So again, not knowing any of this stuff or previous day, if you were just playing the chart, because the key of trading is playing what's in front of you, not what you think is going to happen later. It's if it ends up doing something that's not what it's supposed to do, then you get out and you wait and then you reverse. So that's what day trading does. You're in and out a lot, but if you do it right, then you can do really well with this. So here's the next move. Yes, this could have ended up bouncing off the mid and coming back up, but it didn't. So the moment that it dropped, you could have either got in right here, but really, I would have got in right here. Right when this is a 5-minute candle, so I had a minute or two to make a decision, but the fact that it broke here, my target would have been right here, and sure enough, really quickly it hit. Now you're looking at support. Wait, and if it doesn't blow through to get down here, then you need to wait. So this right here is considered a mid-range move. It was a mid-range on a bigger time frame breakdown and reversal, because now the fact that we came back above the mid-range, and this was at 10:30. So remember the rules. So if you don't make new lows by 10 or 10:30, it's sort of already exhausted because the European market closed, and now you have less participants. So now you're looking at this as being your potential range. And sure enough, you can see in the afternoon that's what it was. That was your range already set from that 10:30 candle. So 10 o'clock, 10:30 could not make new lows, and so now you assume that it's going to be long. And really, you had VWAP right here, so you don't really have it could have basically came down, it could have chopped around right here, and then the afternoon came down to here, but you don't know. You have to let the market tell a story. But the fact that it actually came back above VWAPs, saying that the downside's probably exhausted. Even though we came back down, here you have 12, 12:30. Did we make new lows or getting close to making new lows at 12 or 12:30? No, we did not. So we needed to break the mid ATR. It needed to be right here by 12 or 12:30 for us to have any opportunity for continuation to the downside. Because what that would have done was, you could see this would have been a move. This would have been a half back continuation move. And this is what it would have looked like. It would have came here, here, and then it would have continued down and then started making its way down. This is critical right here at 12 or 12:30. If this would have broke, then the likelihood is you could have saw a double bottom and then potential reverse, but this would have been a very violent play. But you want to assume that anything's below here, then you're going to be target the -1 ATR. So with that said, this is what ended up happening. So now that you broke down, and you can see that there was a mini consolidation pattern, when it ended up breaking above here, then that tells you we're going to the upside. So what's your target? I know there's a lot of lines, but if you took off the fib pivots, actually I'm going to go ahead and do that because, well, I'm not going to do it. What that ends up doing is clearing things up to where you're not overthinking these lines. The main lines are your bear pivot, mid pivot, ATR pivot, to give yourself a sense of what the direction of the day is. So the fact that we held, this was basically a pullback, held mid ATR. This is when you go long and you're targeting here. So what ends up happening? It comes down, holds, and we make a 100-point move. You should have been done. You could have been done in the first hour of the afternoon session, and then didn't have to deal with any of this. And then here you end up coming almost all the way back to the previous day close, and then you ended up just chopping around, and now the bull pivot was support. So this is because also you have to look that the fact that this came down is now the wave to the upside. So if you draw a line, this is what ended up happening. You see wave, wave, and so now you're trending upwards. So that's how I would have played this day. Hindsight, yes, it looks easy, but this is because you're seeing an overview. But I'm sort of trying to teach you on this market recap of how you play these pivots, and that you don't have to make the whole move. You just need to get in and have enough patience to hold for sort of the bigger moves. Move your stop, get in, get out, but always be aware of where you're at in reference and what time of the day. And you see how this looks where it's a drop, now you're back above, and now you never came back below this area. Dropped, consolidated, broke back above, retested that support, and now shot off. So learn those patterns, learn the language, and you will do fine. This is October 5th. We'll see you in the next recap.